20-year-old Doug Martin can be a guy down. Carr. This is caught by Antonio. Not before they work it across midfield. A good grab there.
Real estate on the catch, too, didn't he? I think the most impressive part of it, though, if there's a chance for him to get the football, even though he was covered to get it.
A nice burst there as they'll get about 7 that time on the first down run. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. On second down, Jacobs. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. That's his longest run of the first quarter. And, Charles, we talked before the game about them needing to establish the run game. They'll be looking for more of that.
And they got to the perimeter. So that tells me that that's part of the game plan of what they want to get done today. So they'll have some complementary runs where he'll run it to the inside. But it appears that when they want the big yardage, they think they can get to the outside and make it happen.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. A 16-yard touchdown run. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. And they do exactly what they wanted to. Opening drive, they get into the end zone. They do it on the ground.
And not only is the person lugging the ball happy, of course, because he got it into the end zone. How about the offensive linemen and receivers who are blocking for him? They have to feel great about themselves, sticking it in the end zone on a running play.
That time, a 6-play drive. And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Josh Jacobs. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Wentz off the fake handoff to Howard. And the reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at him turn.
Fighting through it. He's got space. Still going. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards. So the youngster able to use the legs to pick up the first.
And one of my pet peeves when they see this guy play, when Carson Wentz takes off running the football, I always hear people go, oh, he's sneaky athletic. No, he's athletic. Watch him do it. It's an integral part of the quarterback run game, and he gets it done very, very well.
Yeah, you don't like sneaky athletic, do you? That's
no,
kind of a jab in the back.
Yeah, not when it doesn't apply. I think that's a stereotype that needs to be broken down for him.
It's the linebacker, Brandon Marshall, there on the tackle. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now the first carry for Wendell Smallwood. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. 22 yards. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Elliott good on the extra point, and we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. CD, as Oakland comes out here on offense, let's look at what they've done so far in the NFL season. 1-1. They had 2 home games to start the year. The win over Denver, opening on Monday Night Football, and then that 28-10 loss to Kansas City. But the schedule from here gets pretty interesting, does it not?
It's certainly.
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Derek Barnett able to maneuver in for the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Another try after the first down sack. Carr, and that's complete to Luke Wilson. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards. Wilson gives Oakland a veteran option at tight end. Remember, they had Jared Cook last year. He's now in New Orleans. But Wilson, 5 years in Seattle, then 1 in Detroit before the native of Windsor, Canada, signed with Oakland back in March. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
This is Jalen Richard, the 4th-year man from Southern Miss. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
So here we go. The offense is going to stay out there. They're going for it on 4th and 8. Here we go on 4th down with Carr. Over the middle here to Brown. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And that will force a turnover on downs. So shall we say a bold decision to go for it, and that bold decision does not pay off.
And when you talk about bold, you're saying all caps?
All caps.
Yeah, without a doubt. Maybe they're telling their defense they have a lot of faith in them. I mean, that's how you have to spin it, is that you tell your defense, you know something? We were able to go for it there because you guys are so good. I'm not worried about things. That's the only explanation I can come up with in this situation.
Well, he better get ready to spin it for that post-game presser because you know he's going to be out.
He's going to have to spin it for his own locker room, frankly.
From the red zone now, Wentz. Got a man open, it's Ertz. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Zach Ertz there to make the grab. And the Eagles have taken the lead. And he's such a talented tight end, just creates nightmarish-type matchups on the other side.
He's so good that when we say tight end, we're almost damning him with faint praise, aren't we? Because he can do it all. He's as good as any receiver in the NFL.
Well, that's the deal. He's a wide receiver, just in a bigger body.
Bigger body, a matchup nightmare, and who's going to cover it? When I sit in the film session, I just look at the coach and say, really? Really? You going to yell at me? You go cover it. Come on, man. Let's go!
And now Oakland ready to take the field. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Here's Carr. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide-open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy. I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Throwing now is Carr. He's got his man. It's Williams. There he goes, right side. And Williams is in for an Oakland touchdown. Tyrell Williams, 76 yards, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here comes Philadelphia. Again, on the offensive side, a 1-1 team right now. We mentioned earlier when we were discussing Carson Wentz that their game against Atlanta in Week 2 was very physical. And they were dinged up after that one. So now at 1-1, and yes, it's early, but looking up at Dallas 2-0 in the division.
And Philadelphia and Atlanta has turned into a recent rivalry game, hasn't it? Playoffs, regular season, and you mentioned how physical it was. How about all the injuries piling up for the Eagles? Corey Clement, the running back, Dallas Goedert, tight end, Tim Jernigan, defensive tackle, and 2 receivers, Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson. And they have Detroit coming to town, and Detroit's playing well on defense. So the challenge is ahead of the Eagles right now, as you said, trying to chase down the Cowboys here in the early going.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. To throw, it's Wentz. Forced out to his left. Oh, leaves him behind on the spin. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
Push him back. Push him back.
Wentz to throw on 3rd and 1. And that will be incomplete. And the safety, Carl Joseph, there to knock that one away.
So it looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. Throwing now is Wentz. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The product of Jersey City, Tahir Whitehead on the sack. So they take a big chance here in their own territory. And you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room? Because I think the team's going to look at my coach. Why would we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter. I mean, what's going on here? You owe us some explanations.
It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a 1st down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
What now? You ready? 54. Hey, pick your game up. 54.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. Ronald Darby that time, the one who got a hand in and knocked it free. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. to throw again. Carr. That is caught inside the 5. 15 yards on the play. First down.
Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
They'll run it with Jacobs. And he's in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs with his second touchdown in this opening quarter as his guys are able to regain the lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. Here's Smallwood as they begin on the ground. He finds an opening past the 40. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Wendell Smallwood with his second touchdown in this opening quarter as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. One play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved